Thank you for coming tonight and taking a little time out of your lives to learn about a subject that I think is really important. So I'm going to ask you ladies, have you heard that cholesterol is bad?
Yes.
You've heard it's bad. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where did we hear that from?
Doctors.
Doctors. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this. What's your opinion on it? Do you have an opinion?
Well, I've done some research and now it sounds like it's okay.
Okay. All right.
They've changed their minds, or
Okay.
some people have.
Where did you do the research?
Online and a holistic, type of.
Okay. How about you, Rhonda?
I don't remember where I thought that it was, or who I heard it from, and then I heard that the brain is made mostly of fat, so why would I want to get rid of all my fat?
That's a really good conclusion.
My brain cells die on me.
Yeah, it is. We're going to talk about that tonight. So we've heard, most of what we've heard about cholesterol, especially in the just myriad of endless pharmaceutical commercials, is that it's bad. And sometimes I think, well, not sometimes, oftentimes I think the pharmaceutical industry has taken an issue, twisted it a little bit, and then run off and marketed their pharmaceuticals based on things that they're convincing the American public of. And so tonight, and I was hoping more people would be here for this, I want to get the facts straight regarding cholesterol, okay? So there's a quote by George Mann, he's a biochemist at Vanderbilt. He says that the cholesterol heart disease theory is the greatest scam ever perpetrated on the American public. So what is cholesterol? Well, it's a waxy substance that's an important constituent of every cell in your body. Your cells have to have cholesterol. So the vast majority of cholesterol is made in the liver, while the remainder is absorbed in the diet. So your liver makes a lot of cholesterol. So what should we do? Take everybody's livers out because they're making cholesterol? No, okay? So cholesterol is a waxy substance. Now, does wax dissolve in water? Does it repel water? Repels water, right, it does, doesn't it? So if you have cholesterol in every cell in your body has cholesterol in it. So what does that do in a very, very general way? This is a pretty good question. What does that do for our bodies? If cholesterol is waterproof, it repels water, it's in every cell in our body. What does it do for us?
Keep us from losing water.
You're getting a little bit warm there, Rhonda. Okay?
Toxins?
What?
Repels the toxins, or
It actually does some of that, but what cholesterol really does, it makes us waterproof. That's why we can stand in the rain and we don't get soggy like a dish rag and people don't have to wring us out. Cholesterol helps make us waterproof. It repels water, okay? That's pretty important, really, when you think about it. That's why I can go swimming, and we don't get waterlogged. All right, so what role does cholesterol have in the body? Number one, it's a hormone factory. So cholesterol is the primary basis for all of our sex hormones. We didn't have cholesterol, we couldn't make estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, cortisol. We couldn't make any of that because all of that is manufactured from cholesterol. Okay, bile. So the bile in our gallbladder made from cholesterol. Okay, so that's pretty important, especially if you've ever had a gallbladder colic or your gallbladder not work very well. You know what that feels like. Bile acids are important, made from cholesterol. Cholesterol is, as I said, an essential component of all cell membranes in the body. About 12% of your brain is made of cholesterol. You need cholesterol. And cholesterol is able to inactivate more than 90% of the worst and most toxic bacterial products. So it's very antibacterial. It's a very powerful antioxidant as well. Okay? So we make vitamin D from cholesterol. So what happens if you have low vitamin D? Okay? Heart disease, accelerated aging. You know, there's an article that just came out last month. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition on vitamin D, they did a 3-year study. They gave these people 2,000 IUs of vitamin D, and you know that slowed down the aging process in these people. Vitamin D slows the aging process. That article just came out in July. All right? Vitamin D, low vitamin D causes poor physical performance, osteoporosis, depression, immune dysfunction, cancer, difficulty losing weight, all cause mortality. So people that have very low vitamin D levels die sooner, okay? Vitamin D is made from cholesterol. Okay, in fact, vitamin D really looks a lot more like a hormone than a vitamin when you look at it. And it acts like a hormone in the body, too. Cholesterol is essential for healthy human function. So what do the cholesterol studies show about statin drugs reducing heart attacks? An analysis of 5 major cholesterol trials showed that taking statin drugs reduced heart attacks and strokes by 1.4%, and only taking them for 3 to 5 years. Okay? Is that impressive? No, not impressive at all.
Wow.
Pretty bad, okay? And David Brownstein's a physician in Detroit. He's written all kinds of books, but this one came out of his book called The Great Statin Disaster. Studies on cholesterol levels in people who die of heart attacks show that 50% of people who die of heart failure have normal or low cholesterol levels. In fact, I would say this, since I've got 2 women here tonight, actually 3, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out of that. It came up. That women with low cholesterol levels don't do well, especially as you get older. They do not do well. And if you have an HDL cholesterol that's below 40 or especially below 35, you're like prime for a heart attack. So I look at that very carefully. When I do blood work on a woman, especially an older woman, I really pay attention to that HDL cholesterol because it's very, very important, especially for women. So this is a book. This is written by Stephen Sinatra, who's a cardiologist, and Johnny Bowden, who's a PhD in nutrition. It's called The Great Cholesterol Myth. And the subtitle is While Lowering Your Cholesterol Won't Prevent Heart Disease, and the Statin-Free Plan That Will. I recommend this book. It's a really, really good book. It's a little older. It's probably the copyright is, they may have revised it by now. 2012 copyright. It's a little older, but very, very, it'll open your eyes. Okay. So what exactly does predict heart disease? So how can you tell if somebody's heading down? So an elevated omega-6, omega-3 ratio, which is hardly ever checked in people. This is special tests that you have to do, but when you have very little omega-3s and lots of omega-6s, where do we get omega-6s, by the way? Anybody know?
Fish.
What?
Fish.
That's omega-3 we get from
Omega-3s?
fish, yeah. Omega-6s come from vegetable oil like safflower oil, Wesson. A lot of our foods, processed foods, are cooked in omega-6s. We need some, but we don't need nearly what we get, nearly as much as we get. So when this ratio gets out of balance, that is a predictor of heart disease. Hypertension, elevated blood pressure, oxidative stress, which is not measured very much at all, high levels of triglycerides. So you see that on a normal blood panel. So high triglycerides sets you up for heart disease. Why is that? You know what triglycerides are? Anybody? I shouldn't talk about them if you don't know what they are. It's the amount of fat in your blood. So triglycerides makes your blood fatty, thick, and sticky. Okay? So where do triglycerides come from? Sugar. Sugar. You eat sugar, elevates triglycerides. And not only sugar, but your seed oils like safflower oil, Wesson, corn oil, peanut oil, all of those raise triglycerides as well, okay? So triglycerides are not, we need triglycerides, but we don't need them at a very high level. Okay, high ratio of triglycerides to HDL cholesterol. It's another one. Inflammation. That's something I test on every single blood test I do, every comprehensive. So sugar, or more specifically fructose, raises every single one of these. Okay? So fructose is one part of the sugar molecule. So sugar molecules, fructose and glucose, when you eat sugar, it cleaves it. The fructose is processed through the liver, and 30% of all the fructose you eat is stored as fat. Body treats fructose just like alcohol. And the only reason fructose is not banned is because it doesn't affect our brain like alcohol does. But it does the same thing to the body as alcohol, except it doesn't affect our brain like that. So the number one dietary contributor to heart disease is sugar. It's a far greater danger to your heart than fat. Sugar contributes to inflammation in the artery walls, is the missing link in diabetes, obesity, and heart disease. It drives up the hormone insulin, which raises blood pressure and increases cholesterol. Processed carbohydrates raise triglyceride. It's a risk factor for heart disease. When sugar in the blood sticks to proteins, it creates damaging and toxic molecules called advanced glycation end products. Sugar depletes B vitamins, especially B4, which weakens the heart and ultimately causes heart disease. So I'm not saying you can never eat sugar again. It should just be a very, very minor part of your diet, okay? So
what about fruit?
That's a very good question. So we get fructose in fruit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So why is eating fruit okay? So that's it. Pardon me?
Because it's natural. I mean,
okay, it is natural, but that's a really good question. So I'm gonna give you the answer. Number one is you don't get near the concentration of fructose in fruit that you get in sugar, right, or high fructose corn syrup. So that's number one. Number two is that when you eat fruit, you get all the you get a lot of fiber that comes along with that. That fiber prevents about 25% of the fructose from being absorbed. So the fiber prevents absorption of fructose and it slows it down into the body. Mm-hmm. The number three reason that fruit is okay is because when you eat fruit, it contains the vitamins and minerals that your body needs and the phytonutrients to digest and handle the fructose. Whereas when you drink a Coca-Cola, which is made from high fructose corn syrup, you don't get that. Mm-hmm. You just get the fructose. You don't get any of that, okay? So I've never known anybody that became overweight from eating too much fruit. Mm-hmm. I've just never seen it, okay? So fruit isn't that bad. Now, if you're a brittle diabetic, you probably want to watch some of the fruit that you eat, like grapes and things like that, but fruit is not that bad. Okay, the dark side of statins. Statin drugs lower cholesterol in your brain. Your brain contains 25% of your body's cholesterol. So it plays a critical role in the function of your brain and the release of neurotransmitters. Okay, statin lowers coenzyme Q10, which increases the risk of congestive heart failure. So coenzyme Q10, also made in the liver, also made from cholesterol. So coenzyme Q10 is a vitamin-like compound found in every cell of your body. It's essential for producing energy, for energy production. It's a powerful antioxidant, okay? I generally don't carry coenzyme Q10 in my office. It's in some of the products that I sell, but I don't sell it. I carried it at one time when I would test people for it. Nobody tested for it, that they needed it. And the reason is, I just think it's too concentrated. You don't need a lot of it. So, like in some of the products I have, like CoQ10 Cardio, it's a product I have for the heart. There's coenzyme Q10 in there, but it's a whole food source. Okay, that's why I like it. So I'm not giving just straight CoQ10. Statin drugs increase the chances of infection. Okay, a number of studies have linked low cholesterol to a greater risk of infection. Statins have a terrific ability to ruin your sex life. Lowering cholesterol is tantamount to downsizing your body's own sex hormone factory. So if you're a man and you're on a statin lowering drug, it's going to lower your testosterone. And you're going to have all the other problems that go along with that, including weight gain and all the things that cause heart disease. Mm-hmm. So it's just a bad thing. So because all your sex hormones are made from cholesterol, when you lower cholesterol, what happens? There's not enough to go around. You don't have enough to make cells, to make sex hormones, to make bile for the brain. There's just not enough to go around. So you think your body is going to preserve your sex life or your brain first? Your brain, right? It's not going to let you die. Okay. Funny question. Okay. All right. So statins inhibit the production of vitamin K2, which protects arteries from calcification. It inhibits the production of glutathione peroxidase, which protects the body and DNA from oxidative stress. So glutathione is the main detoxifier and antioxidant in your body. Glutathione peroxidase is an enzyme which helps the manufacturer of glutathione. So statins lower that. You do not want that, okay? Two more interesting studies on cholesterol. People with cholesterol levels between 91 and 135, which is pretty low, okay, were 6 times more likely to have Parkinson's, and those with LDL levels below 91 were 4 times more likely. That's from a study presented at the annual meeting of the American Neurological Association in San Diego, 2014. Musculoskeletal conditions, arthropathies, injuries, and pain are more common among statin users than among similar non-users. That's from JAMA Internal Medicine, okay? One landmark study on statins showed the following. A categorical risk of clinical evidence to support the use of statin in primary prevention. Statins actually increase cardiovascular risk in women, the young, and people with diabetes. So that's from the Open Journal of Endocrine and Metabolic Diseases, 2013. I don't think any woman should be on a statin, if you want to know the truth, unless you have a congenital problem where your body just makes way too much cholesterol. Then I would say a statin would probably be beneficial. Otherwise, there's no evidence, and they'll tell you in this book, there's no evidence that an older woman should ever be on a statin. There's no evidence for that. And you can read, you can get this check this out from the library. I think our library, Lincoln Public Library, has that book. This same review also showed that statin therapy increased muscle fatigability by 30%, with more than an 11% incidence of rhabdomyolysis. It's a life-threatening muscle condition when you take it in high doses. Coronary artery and aortic calcification, erectile dysfunction, which is 10 times more common in young men taking the lowest doses of statin. It also increased diabetes and cancer. Again, that's from the Open Journal of Endocrine and Metabolic Diseases, 2013. What if your cholesterol is too high and you've done the dietary steps to bring it down? Okay, so what would the dietary steps to bring down cholesterol be? What would they be?
Get away from the oils, vegetable oils.
Bingo. Yeah, that's one. What else? Maybe really reduce sugar.
Yeah.
Okay, that would be another one. Okay. And what would be another thing that you could do to lower dietary cholesterol?
Exercise.
Yeah, exercise is really good. Yeah, very good lifestyle modification. Okay. What other dietary things could you do? How about eating lots of vegetables? Things like cauliflower, broccoli, kale, arugula. How about Brussels sprouts? Everybody's favorite. I know everybody tanks out on Brussels sprouts.
I love Brussels sprouts.
I do too. I like them too. I agree with you. I think they're great. So those are some things you could do that would help. You know, eating fish, like ocean fish, is good for that, like wild caught salmon, things like that. So, but if all of that doesn't work, you know, soybean lecithin, which we have here, is really good for helping to control and metabolize extra cholesterol. So it does a lot of good things. The 4 horsemen, which contribute mightily to heart disease: oxidation, inflammation, sugar, and stress. And a 5th horseman recently identified is sometimes wheat and gluten sensitivity can contribute to heart disease too. And I would say even a 6th one, which I didn't put in this slide presentation, is gut dysbiosis, a disruption of the microbiome. We know for a fact there is a microbiome heart disease connection. And we know that from a test called TMAO, trimethylamine oxidase. So these are some things so oxidative stress, if you're eating a lot of fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, you're going to lower your levels of oxidative stress. If you're exercising regularly, that really reduces the amount of inflammation. If you're controlling your stress and you're not eating much sugar, those are things that are very, very powerful for preventing heart disease. What are some of the causes of oxidation in the body? Oxidative stress: cigarette smoking, okay? Heavy metals like mercury, insecticides, radiation, pollution in air and food supply, lack of essential nutrients. Okay, so those are things that cause oxidative stress in the body. In fact, where was it? I was driving to Grand Island a couple of weeks ago, and man, we saw several crop dusters, crop dusting the crops. And what they're spraying on there is not good for people. I can tell you that. They're not spraying on vitamin C, that's for sure. Obviously we had our windows rolled up, but it's not good for us. Okay, so a major factor in protecting against oxidative stress is this pathway right here. Now, The NFR2 signaling pathway is a pathway inside a cell, and when that pathway is activated or it's off, it produces inflammation. So this is where inflammation starts. NFR2 signaling pathway. So it performs several crucial functions in the body. So there's 4 herbs that are found in a product that we have called Vitanox, which helps control that pathway, helps regulate that pathway. One of the things that's found that you can use that helps NRF2 pathway is green tea. If you drink green tea, that's really, really good for NRF2. And this actually, when you modulate that pathway, that slows down or really modulates the aging process as well. So we have a product called Vitanox that's really good for that. Activation of the NRF2 pathway by Vitanox allows the body to manufacture its own antioxidants rather than having to consume them from outside the body. So when you consume green tea, and there's some other things in there as well, resveratrol is another one, the body can take that and manufacture its own antioxidants. So it's a really good thing to take and consume. The research also shows that physical fitness, like Takema brought up, smoking cessation, and a healthy diet, those 3 things trump nearly every medical intervention as a way to keep cholesterol normal and heart disease at bay. This is from John Abramson. He's a professor of family medicine at Harvard Medical School. And I think I have his book. And that quote is right out of this book right here called Overdosed America. That's where I got that quote from. I've got another one, more recent book of his back in my office, which is also very good. John Abramson I like him. He's not real big on giving people a lot of drugs. He teaches at Harvard Medical School. So that's all I have on this talk. Do you have any questions?
When you said sugar, what about artificial, the sweeteners, the different?
Like
Yeah.
Splenda,
Yeah.
bad for the brain.
Oh,
Splenda is a chlorinated hydrocarbon, which is really not good for human consumption at all. I'll never eat anything with Splenda if I can help it. So the only sweetener that I use that we use a little bit of honey at home sometimes a little bit of maple syrup and stevia, and that's it.
Okay.
And I guess I do use some coconut sugar as well, all derived from very natural sources.
Yeah.
I don't use any artificial sweetener. I don't like it. Don't want it.
Yeah.
It's not good for
Trying to
you.
get to that point.
Yeah. Just don't even get it. It's bad. Every study that's been done on those artificial sweeteners shows that it's not good for human consumption. So we don't use it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. Here's a rule of thumb, and most people will want to hear this, and I understand why. If something tastes bitter, it's usually good for you. Something tastes sweet, usually bad for you. Okay, so that's why I recommend, for example, one of the vegetables we use at our house is called bitter melon. It's an Asian vegetable, really, really good for a lot of things in the body, but especially controlling blood sugar. I hated it at first. I've developed a taste for it where I really like it. So we mix it up in a blender with grapefruit juice and lemon. It's not too bad. Bitters, you can get bitters like at Trader Joe's liquid. You just put them in water and drink them before you eat. Really good for you. It stimulates the digestive tract, stimulates the stomach to produce stomach acid. It's a really inexpensive way to get your digestion going. And it comes in a little bottle. You just sprinkle it in some water, and it's very good. So usually bitter things are good, sweet things are bad. That's just a rule of thumb. And what do we, in this country, we just do the exact opposite.
Yeah.
We consume huge amounts of sweet things
Mm-hmm.
and avoid bitter like the plague. Good. So I think that I know that. Have I done blood work on you?
Yeah.
I thought
About a
I've done
year.
blood work on both of you women. So
Yeah.
I think that if you probably know some people that are unhealthy, that just need a good solid look at their chemistry. I'd be happy to talk to them and look at things like the levels of inflammation, the triglyceride HDL ratio, their triglyceride level, the things that really are important in blood work to look at how much stress is being put on your heart. That's what we want to do here. We want to prevent things rather than wait till disasters happen and then work on them. So good. Thanks for coming tonight. I appreciate it. And good. No other questions? Yes.
I have another one. Okay, if I'm fructose intolerant and I'm not able to eat a lot of fruit, I mean, I'm scared to try any fruit because I don't want to have what happens. So what do you recommend? Anything? I mean, I can eat rhubarb, lemon, lime.
Things that are really low in fructose.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where you're at.
Yeah.
That's what you're stuck with. So,
Yeah. Yeah. What was me? I like that sugar. Gotta get that out of my head.
The only thing you could do, you could try the bitters
Okay.
before you eat and see if that helps.
Okay. Is that a liquid?
Yeah, it's a liquid. You get it at Trader Joe's and it's in the alcohol section,
Okay.
because they make mixed drinks with it. But it's really good for your GI tract. So like I said, I use it at home, put it in water and drink it before I eat, when I remember to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always remember to. So yeah. So it's all $4.50. That bottle will last you a long time.
And you just sprinkle it on food?
No, you
or
sprinkle it in water.
Water. That's it.
Or grapefruit juice or something like that. And you drink it before you eat.
Okay.
And then it stimulates your digestive tract so you digest food better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a very inexpensive way to
Okay.
try and stay healthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Great. Thank you for coming tonight. And
Thank
in
you.
2 weeks, we do how to shrink your brain or not. What are the things that we do in our culture that actually causes our brain to get smaller, which we don't want. We don't want small brains. So we're going to talk about that next time.